Welcome guys to the Dynamic Podcast with Brendan and Rhiannon.
On this podcast, we're here to talk about self-development, health and fitness, business, and our journey as brand new business owners.
Let's go. Make sure you stick around because I'm telling you right now, this is the best podcast you'll ever see.
Enjoy, guys. Ciao.
Take 247,000. This is the Dynamic Podcast. What we've done is we've brought another guest on that has been here actually a year prior. He's my younger brother, Julian. And since we recorded that podcast, a lot has changed for not only ourselves, but also himself in his own business. So we sat down with him today to dive into what that experience has actually been like, how you've overcome some of the hurdles that you've gone through, and honestly just to catch up with you because you've been MIA just as much as I have.
Yep. It's been a long year, but it also feels like it's flown. A lot of shit has changed. Obviously, my sleeping routine has changed, but it's surreal to be sitting here saying that I have 60 people under my wing, or over 60 people I've trained this year. Good to be here, good to be alive.
It's a momentous feat to hit like a number like that, 60 plus. Like to say that you've hit over the half century mark is a feat in itself.
Yeah.
How did you mentally prep yourself for the amount of workload that you were going to put yourself through this year?
I didn't actually know how much work I would be getting myself into.
So the unknown.
If I'm being quite honest, it was slow to build up, and then all of a sudden it just hit me that like, fuck, I've actually got 30, 40 people here in front of me a week. So I just wrapped up a 50 session week. Like for some people that might sound like nothing, but day in, day out, spread it across the week, it's a lot of work. And you're not just going in and going out. It's 50 people every day. You're staying at the gym. You're working out there as well. So it takes a toll on you. And it's not for the weak, that's for sure.
A lot of people think that being a personal trainer is all about just counting reps. What's your job like?
It can be counting reps at times, but it's way more than that. You're pretty much an all-in-one package for your client.
You've got to be the gardener. You've got to be the therapist. You've got to be the personal trainer.
Yeah.
You've got to be the life coach. There's all these titles that you have to take on as a PT.
Yeah.
And I believe in the industry that we're in, we're not personal trainers. We're not defined as personal trainers. We're more defined as coaches. And that was something that we touched on in our previous podcast, was the difference between a personal trainer and a coach.
Yeah.
How do you believe you've developed as a coach since last year?
Wait, hang on a second, just before we go on. You mentioned gardener.
Yeah, I used to be a gardener for one of my clients.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck?
Yeah.
A gardener?
Yeah. That was just the first thing that came to mind.
I actually heard that as well, and I was
Yeah.
like, I just brushed past it. But
Yeah.
So you were a gardener?
Yeah. So we would sometimes swap out sessions for gardening. And
What?
she paid. She got the same service.
So she paid you to do her gardening?
She paid me. I'll explain what happened. I'll explain
hang
what
on a
happened.
second, was she doing training while you were doing the gardening?
She was training while I was doing the gardening. So I just gave her the exercises that I wanted her to do.
And you were gardening?
And in turn, I was doing the gardening
I
for
actually
her.
can't believe I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
So you were doing two jobs at once?
Yeah.
Were you looking around and saying like, all right, 5 more?
I was
while you were
on
slipping
the
trees,
I've
or-
got photos. I'm on the railing of the fence cutting her trees down as she's
While
doing,
she's training?
While she's doing
Were
like
you correcting
push-ups.
form?
From the fence. Mate, it was bird's eye view. I could see everything. It was actually pretty. It was just something I enjoyed. I was a lot more of a hands-on type of personal trainer.
How can you be hands-on from the fence?
That's very hands-on.
I was hands-on with the trees.
How was the garden? Did it turn out all right?
It actually turned out really nice. Yeah.
Do you have before and after photos?
No.
Of the garden or the client?
I don't know before and after photos of the garden, but anyway, to deviate away from the question.
I never heard that one, so
That's the first time I've heard that one.
Yeah, I've done multiple things.
I thought
in
being
my
your brother, I'd
personal
maybe know that you did some gardening,
Yeah.
with your clients.
Do you do it at home as well? Or?
Not as much as you'd think, but anyway, it was something I did.
Fair enough. Do you do the gardening at home?
Not anymore. Used to. I did. I actually used to. I
You
used to
mowed
mow
the lawn once.
I mowed the
You
lawn
mowed the lawn once.
every weekend. I mowed the lawn.
Every weekend? Well,
Right.
what, Saturdays after your 50 session week?
Well,
or-
that was when I didn't have any clients. So
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
so in the
okay.
beginning stages, you had that free time where you could.
I was
Do
mowing
the-
the lawn. I was
yeah.
doing the edges, giving a good hairline to the edges.
Lining it up.
Oh wow.
all right.
Gardening.
That's interesting, that one. So people are watching, they're going to think that personal trainers are also gardeners.
Right. So we're moving on from the gardening.
Yeah. We
So-
never
But
brought it
You
up.
should have moved on from the gardening.
Yeah, you
We
both
should've,
should
we
have.
should've.
Hold on a second.
I think.
Wait a minute.
I think he
No,
stretched it.
wait a minute. He stretched the fucking whole thing. What do you mean?
He did.
Oh, hold on a
All right,
minute.
now-
I've got to bring something up in the gardening.
Well, you mentioned gardening as the first
Look,
one.
I wanted to hear about it, but then you just kept asking
It
questions.
was to make curiosity within the people. And yes, there you go. There's a story of mine
Well,
where
you
I
just
did
explained
gardening.
that. That's good. That's good.
There you go.
It's all about storytelling.
That is.
Now, you had a job for 2 years before you started your own business,
Yeah.
and it was a stable job.
Yeah.
Then you decided, you know what? I don't want this anymore. I'm going to take a risk and go into a gym that was not even established yet with 0 clients and build my business in there. What made you do that?
Well, that job was a personal training job. Thank you for clarifying that, which you didn't. but but yeah. So it was stable. I had clients literally coming to me because my boss would do the consult and I would get the client, and you just have to train them. So that was the easiest part of the job, and it was stable, and I was doing 40, 50 hours a week. You know, that's easy. But I felt like I wasn't really attached to it. It wasn't something of my own. So I wanted to use what I learned from that workspace and pretty much start DBPT. And this is where we are now.
Where did the name come from?
So I'll be honest with you. Del Bianco is the last name. This is going to sound corny, but I also had a thought in my head. Discipline, balance. The 2 core stones of getting a good result.
Well, this guy's the exact same. He made an abbreviation out of his name. It was dynamic
Recovery, dynamic balance.
recovery, dynamic balance. So what we did was we got rid of balance.
So you
and
stole
just
his name
switched. Yeah.
and you're claiming it.
No. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened because this is a big deviation again, but I'll bring it up again. Dynamic recovery, dynamic balance was my initials, RDB.
Yeah.
So we were trying to come up with a business name, and he's sitting there going, I wonder what we could name the business. So I said, why don't we just get dynamic and recovery? Dynamic recovery, perfect name. Dynamically training and recovering for longevity. So we were hunting down that name, weren't we? So
Yeah.
hunting it down. Unfortunately, someone's got the name. So what did I do? Just take a couple letters off. Dynamic Recov was born.
Beautiful.
All
So
right,
that's how you got the name.
discipline, balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that really wasn't what I was striving for. It was more just Del Bianco, but
Now you've abbreviated into.
now it's discipline and balance as well. So
Do you
whenever
teach
someone
all your
asks me what
clients those
DB
things?
stand for, I say it's my last name and also discipline balance.
Is
And
that,
they're like,
the,
wow, such a good name. Good idea.
is that the 2 pillars you teach all of your clients?
Pretty much, yeah.
I know those.
I remember we did a training session together, us 3. Maybe it was Easter. And you asked me what is, you asked me something about discipline. And that is like the biggest thing for me and my clients. Because when you do something that you don't want to do, you're building character. And that's the biggest thing.
Another big thing about discipline and balance, which you taught me, especially when I went through my bodybuilding comp recently, you were my coach, was the discipline, period. I don't think there was too much balance because it was just train for that goal that you had in mind.
There's no balance in a bodybuilding
no-
competition.
There's none. But is that something you emanate to your clients through what you practice and teach?
If I'm being completely honest, I don't bring the discipline to that point because most of these clients are gem pop. So you're not going to hammer them and say you have to do this, this, and this all the time. You want to try and make it sustainable for them. So I do instill that within them, but I don't hammer it as much as I was hammering you.
Do you believe for clients to get good results, they can't always be focusing on balance? Because when people focus on balance too much, they're thinking, nights out, restaurants, drinking. They kind of have to cut a few of those things out to achieve good results, right?
Yeah.
You can still do those things, but sometimes you need to teach them, stop going out.
It's true. I'll be honest, I train a husband and a wife. They train together. Now they've split off and we're training separately. Big social people going out every weekend, and they still got a good result. So you don't completely have to cut it out.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's got to be some discipline, there's got to be some balance, there's got to be a bit of both to get a good result. So yes, I can teach discipline so much, but at the end of the day, it's up to the client.
Now, something that we as coaches preach and teach is that a lot can change within a period of time. And since you've done that first podcast to now, it's been a whole year.
Yeah.
What do you think one of the biggest lessons you've gone through has been in that whole year?
Learning how to deal with the objection was something I had to pick up really quickly, because you're facing someone like this in a consult, you want to sign them up, you want to help them, but they don't know anything about you. So it's your job to
Guide them.
through what they're about to do.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, when you were building your business, not only did you have to become a really good personal trainer, which you already had those skills in your job, but you had to learn sales.
Yeah.
One thing that you've always told me about how you run your consults is you don't like to be face onto them. You like to be side on. Why?
The reason for that is because it makes them feel more comfortable. Front on is too confronting. Simple as that. And you'll make a better sale doing that.
I've talked to heaps of PTs, and a lot of them find it hard to manage more than 20 clients.
Yeah.
How are you managing 60?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not really managing it properly. I'm just getting through. And you got to do what you got to do.
What are some things you would like to learn about how to manage yourself properly?
Well, I think I pour a lot of time into giving the client a good service. So when you ask me, how do I manage all that? I'm pretty much thinking, how do I manage my life around that? And I really don't, because at the moment I am spending most of my time making programs, doing nutrition and all that stuff. So yes, the client's getting the best out of me, but at the same time, it comes at the cost of family, relationship and all that stuff. So if you are looking to go big with personal training, it's
A lot of sacrifice.
It's a lot of sacrifice, and that's what people don't understand. Like, I've got friends asking me to come out on a Friday or a Wednesday, and you're working around these people's lives. So you're there in the morning, you're there in the night, and the middle of the days where you have your freedom, and everyone's at fucking work. So it's hard to manage, I'll be honest with you, but the next steps are looking good for me, and I'm looking at scaling a bit more and hopefully involving some other people in the business so that I can take a little step back but still be involved in the business.
Buy back some time for yourself.
Exactly right, and that's what this whole online thing is now as well. And that's another big thing for a lot of coaches.
I think that a year ago, both Brendan and I were finding that we were working long hours as well.
Yeah.
And we've come to this similar stage now with the gym and everything else to start prioritizing ourselves. Because as PTs, and we all know this, you tend to forget about yourself when you're helping so many people.
Yeah.
And that forgetfulness of the most important thing that drives business, drives community, drives personality, drives a conversation with that person or helps them is you.
Yeah.
If you don't help that person, then it's a road for disaster.
That is your business.
You are your business.
Exactly right, yeah. And this reminds me of when I first started PT at my other workplace. I thought if I start PT, I was scared to start PT because I thought, when I start this, am I going to stop training and stop loving training, sorry. That's what I really thought would happen to me because I saw so many PTs that looked like shit, pretty much. And I just didn't want that to happen to me. So I was very, very scared to jump into this industry. And
Yeah, it's definitely like a weary industry to get yourself. Like we have a nutritionist that didn't want to be a PT because she was scared of losing the love of training because she's training so many other people.
Yeah.
You can lose that passion for wanting to focus on your health and fitness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that we try and avoid is burning out as coaches. So how do you keep your energy up throughout these 60 plus clients and then also manage to avoid burnout?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I actually don't believe in burnout. I believe you can be tired, but I think burnout is this whole craze that's been created by people who don't want to work hard.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that everyone goes through burnout at some stage once?
I agree with him.
I think, look, burnout, like I said, is you could be tired, overworked, but you haven't completely burnt out.
Do you believe that you can manage burnout?
You can manage burnout, 100%.
So that means
I think
burnout.
it's a fake start.
Like burnout can be anything, bro. You can be burnt out from running a marathon.
100%.
You can be burnt out
from training for the marathon. I understand that.
But like,
but you're saying that you don't believe in it, but you just
So
said
you can
that.
be burnt out from sitting in a sauna for too long.
look, burnout, it probably is a thing.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
But for me, I don't want to believe in it
Yep.
because I know it'll hold me back. So if I tell myself, hey, look, I'm burnt out, well, I'm going to reschedule all my clients for that day. I'm going to take a rest, go to the beach. There's no point of me doing that. When there's money to be made, there shouldn't be anything.
You're not at that stage yet.
There shouldn't be any burnout if, you're struggling to make money, you haven't got any clients, all of that. Do you know what I mean?
When you know you're destined for bigger things, there's no room
Exactly
for burnout.
right. When you know you want something bigger than what you have, you shouldn't be always burning out.
Yeah.
But I think what I said before, I don't believe in burnout, is my personal belief. So
That's fair.
I probably am burnt out. I just finished a massive week. I was at the gym all week.
Well, we
doing
couldn't even
online
get a
clients as
podcast
well.
together.
We couldn't do a podcast yesterday. We were fucking laughing at each other the whole time. So
I get that. The acceptance of burnout can cause you to feel more flat.
yeah.
I can agree with you on that.
I'll be honest with you as well. When I went to Bali, which was maybe
A week ago, too.
No, that was about a month ago now. Yeah. So I went to Bali a month
a week
ago.
after the comp.
That was the week, a couple of
Day.
days after we did the comp. And when I got to Bali, it all hit me that, fuck, I was working so much. And I didn't realize till I got there.
Yeah.
And I was PT is a scary one as well because if you're not working, you're not making money. So what I did the week before was I double booked every single client in my schedule so that they don't miss out on their session while I'm gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that completely fucked me. So when I got there, I realized, shit, this could be burnout. But I didn't want to believe it.
You managed it.
Yeah.
Like you,
And then you relaxed and then your burnout factor went down.
Yeah, but I relaxed so hard and I enjoyed myself so much that when I came back, I was nearly depressed.
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck am I actually doing here?
There were too many jumps and peaks of serotonin at different periods.
That Bali trip was like, I was up here.
Yeah.
I was riding so high.
Yeah.
And then to get back, and it's not like I hate what I do, but it felt like I just didn't want to be there.
It affects you mentally.
Yeah, and it's like, I remember, so the week after I had a wedding as well for 3 days, and I was drinking for 3 days straight. I never do that, never. And it's just like all my values have gone out the door. And getting back to that week after was a struggle.
just as hard.
But you just got to remind yourself of
What you do.
Discipline, balance.
what we do. So if I keep those two things at the forefront of my life, everything is good. But I got balance in my name, but I don't know if I'm balancing at the moment. So I want this podcast to sort of be a mark for me and for you boys as well, to show how far we've come in another couple of years.
So I remember we spoke about before you jumped on the podcast. You mentioned that this is like a stepping stone for you.
Yeah.
That after this episode, you want to see yourself grow.
Yeah.
Is there something that's going to happen?
I have very big plans for this business, and I don't see it being just me. The lone wolf actually never wins, believe it or not. What's this craze where, what's it called? It's monk mode.
Monk mode.
This monk mode craze where you go ghost for 6 months and all of a sudden you pop out and you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I don't expect to do this all on my own because I know there is weaknesses that someone else could do better than I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
that's when you have to start hiring, looking around. Obviously, we talked about time before. Need to buy some time back. And that's the next steps that I'd be looking at in this business.
you would love the podcast that we previously did with our business coach, Anthony.
Yeah.
He talks about the importance of a team.
Yeah.
And what did he mention? Leadership. How important leadership is, because you are the forefront of the face, or you are the face of your brand.
Yeah.
You are the face of your business.
Yeah.
That's a very important skill to learn.
Yeah.
So what do those look like for you? What do the next steps look like for you
Yes.
in terms of being the leader that you want to be for your brand?
Right. Well, I actually watched one of Adam Sullivan's podcasts. I watched a few of them actually. Hearing his story about going from a gym floor PT to where he is now, it's actually so crazy. I don't know if you've listened to... Yeah.
Yeah.
So I related to that podcast so much that I would like to follow all of his next steps. Not to copy him or anything, but that's where I see my business going as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I brought up his podcast, because he was speaking about how he'd gotten to a point where there's like too many clients in front of him and he didn't know where to go himself. I think he spoke about burnout as well. But he hired one person, hired another person, all of a sudden he's got 60 staff. So I think the next steps for me are to look to build a solid team around
Your
Yes.
values, your pillars.
Exactly right. So not only my brand, but the people that I do hire need to have that within them as well. Otherwise, the business just doesn't run properly. And right now, I could do with someone like that. But for the last year, it's sort of been, let me just put in the work. Let me just put in the work. I don't want anyone to help me. I'm that sort of person. And sometimes it can not be good because I'll be hard on myself and then I'm happy with myself. Then I'm hard on myself again. It's like, where does this end? So if you have someone else to sort of oversee that shit, then that could take it to the next level.
Being a personal trainer, we get thrown challenges every single day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a toe injury or someone's loved one has passed away. There's always a challenge thrown at us.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you have faced with your own life while running this business for yourself?
That's a good question. So, like I mentioned before, personal training comes at the cost of sometimes your family, your relationship.
Sacrificing a lot.
You sacrifice a lot. And I think that has been a challenge for me, but it's delayed gratification. I knew I had to put in...
So your acceptance of delayed gratification was the biggest challenge for you? Like accepting that delayed gratification
I'd
was
say
something that you needed to do
Yeah, so
or focus on?
I like to see... Sometimes I like to see things happen straight away.
And so do a lot of our clients as well.
Accepting that I needed to do this amount of work to get this return was hard for me because I was sitting at the gym, like we spoke about last podcast, the one we didn't post. I was sitting there from open till close some days, just looking for someone to speak to. And the more I did that, the more I was like, what the fuck? When am I actually gonna pick someone up? And that sort of scared me because I thought at the very start it was like, I've left my old workplace where everything was coming to me. It was so easy, and I took this risk, and now I'm sitting here doing jack shit, and that scared me. So I had to trust the process, and it worked out.
Being personal trainers, I think you see the big golden egg at the end of the rainbow, or the golden, what was it called? At the end of the rainbow, there's always
at the end of the rainbow
with the pot full of gold.
pot of gold.
And you see that when you walk into personal training, like, oh, this is so easy, sweet, perfect. Unfortunately, with the industry that we're in, it's a very, very tough industry. And delayed gratification, something you brought up, is something that needs to be forced upon yourself, because the man who does more than he's paid for will soon be paid for more than he does.
I like that.
It's just a quote that I saw once and popped it onto his phone as well. And it's just on the forefront of our phones now, because in this type of industry, you've got to be patient. You've got to take your time with everything that you're doing, especially when you're coaching someone. It may not take a week, it may not take a month, it may not take a year, it may take multiple. But teaching yourself about delayed gratification will not only replicate onto your clients, but onto yourself as well. How you perform your sessions, how you guide them the right way. Brendan's been with someone for 5 years, coaching someone for 5+ years. You know, that is the greatest story of delayed gratification ever, because that person has now lost 70+ kilos.
What does a leprechaun have to do with this?
Because you look at let me reframe that. The
Well, I
light
like
at the
the
end of the
leprechaun.
light at
I
the
thought
end
the
of the
leprechaun
tunnel.
was good.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You see the personal trainer that's on social media, and you get fully sucked into their life because you want to be $1 million a week and fucking $1 million a month because you're selling shirts and this and that. But that's where you get sucked into the social media side of things.
So the leprechaun is a PT.
So the leprechaun is the golden century PT, where you're
The
making $1
leprechaun
million a month.
is you, but the 2.0 version.
Oh, you in the future.
Yep.
So you're constantly
So this is Brendan 1.0.
Yep.
Think about Brendan 2.0. Then think about another
Shit.
rainbow, and then think about Brendan 3.0.
Man, he's actually on something. So you can't pass yourself 3.0.
What do you mean?
Okay, do you remember that question that you asked me when Brendan was interrogating me?
When?
We did a podcast, and before that podcast, I messaged all of the previous guests on the podcast.
Yeah.
You were one of them.
Yeah.
And I asked everyone the same question. What's one question that you would want me to ask Rhiannon on the pod? And your question was, have you hit your peak? So I'm going to ask it back to you. Have you hit your peak?
Did I actually ask you that?
You asked me what I defined as a peak. Oh, no, well,
No, the question was, have you hit your peak?
Have you hit your peak? And I defined it as, I think you can hit multiple peaks in life. And the reason I brought that whole story up was because you were talking about the fucking rainbows. So the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version of yourself is
There's always a
multiple peak.
There's always a mark where you feel like, okay, this is good. Let's get better, and that's the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version of yourself. There might be 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, so, but every time you get to that stage where I feel like I've hit a little peak, that's a good thing. Now you want to hit the next peak.
But I feel like that delayed gratification moment for you was one of those, because it changed and shifted everything in your mind.
Yeah, well, I
in
like
terms
to
of
think about
business.
it like you have to, especially in this industry, you have to eat shit to get shit. So you have to eat shit at the start. You have to give out the free sessions. You have to speak to people for hours without a result. You have to eat the shit at the start, and then you're going to get it all by the end of it.
I like that. No one's going to join a mob with 0 people on it.
Yeah, and I didn't understand that at the start. At the very, very start, when I first when we first opened Empire, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm just gonna get some clients. This is gonna be good.
Easy
Money in my
walk in.
pocket."
Yeah.
And it just wasn't that.
It was a lot
Even
harder.
though I backed my service and I know I can be a great PT and a great coach, it doesn't matter. If you're not there showing your face, if you're not there promoting yourself, no one gives a fuck who you are because they don't know you.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, as you're starting to develop your business, you're losing your PT skills?
That's a good question because it's actually true. I'm not saying for me, I don't feel like I'm losing my touch. Like, I feel sometimes the service can be deflated because you're running so many sessions, and any PT out there can back this up. When you're waking up at 4, getting to the gym at 5, you've opened the gym and all of a sudden you've got someone standing in front of you. Is that going to be the best session of your day? You're rubbing your eyes in the car. You're splashing water on your face in the morning.
Smashing
You're
a
out the
double shot
door.
coffee,
You're smashing a coffee or whatever.
dry scooping pre.
Will that be the best session of your day? Sometimes it's not. Some people get the best version of us, and some people get half a version of us. It really depends who you are as a person and how high you hold yourself to a standard. So for me, it is hard waking up at 4 o'clock and getting to the gym at 5, right? But this is how I see it. They're paying for your service. You told them how good of a service they're going to get, and then you pull up at 5 a.m. and you're just shit. I try to talk myself out of that. They've come this far. They've gotten out of bed, driven to the gym, put their clothes on. Well, they would have done that first. Driven to the gym just to see you to train for 45 minutes or an hour.
You need to make sure that.
So you need to make sure that you're always turning up to every session, no matter what time of the day it is. And for me, sometimes it is hard. You sort of got to slap yourself and wake up, but you've got to be there all the time. You've got to be switched on all the time. And that's what makes this so tiring sometimes, is because you're showing this happy face, you're there, you're alive, but sometimes you're not. Something might happen in your day that really pisses you off. All of a sudden you've got Bob, Joe and Tim waiting for their PT sessions.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell them?
You got to do it.
You just got to go there, show face, be happy, train them as you always would.
You
But to
hold a
answer your-
standard and you have to make sure that you're hitting that, because they're paying for your time, they're paying for your energy, and they're paying for the result that you told them you would get them.
Exactly right. In consults, we always sell the dream. We always sell the dream. And that's a good thing, because once you sell the dream, you should over-deliver and do
Yes.
more than that. And to answer your question, I know you want to ask me a question, but to answer your question, do I feel like the standard's dropping? Sometimes I feel like it's dropping myself, but the client will never see that side of me.
Because it's more an internal thing for you.
It's more of an internal thing. So like after a big block of sessions, I'll go home and I won't eat that meal that I was supposed to. So sometimes I do drop my own standards, but it's about what you do to get back from that. So shit, I missed my meal before bed. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to eat 2 meals tomorrow. Or I missed my workout today, I'm going to do a workout tomorrow, and on my rest day I'm going to do another workout. So
Yeah. So
and
do
this
you,
is something I try to teach my clients as well, is the get back is more important than the setback.
Yes, I like that.
Because they fuck up, like you said, they go out for wine, steak, and then ice cream after. They fucked up. But you can fix that.
Just
You
turn
can-
up the next day.
You can wake up the next day and do something about it.
yeah, off the back of the question that you asked him, where you were talking about standards dropping as you progress as a personal trainer, do you believe that that is a stage in your career where you have to start offloading your work to someone that you hire, for instance?
Yeah. And you can only provide your top service for so long. Because yes, I'm keeping myself up here to this standard, but how long can I actually do that? Let's say you're running 60 sessions a week. How many years can you actually provide a top service for?
Well, we would just
The whole time.
well,
It's pretty impossible.
It's nearly impossible.
We're not robots.
So let's say you cut it down to 10 sessions a week, but those 10 sessions are clients you love to work with, and
and you did a really
they're more
good
than
job.
happy to be here with you as well.
and
Yeah.
pay the price.
You'll
as
never
well.
drop your standard.
I think
Because some of these, I don't want to bag anyone out, but some people don't actually value the service as much as you think they do. They
yeah.
might say they are into their health and fitness, but they're just showing one side of themselves to you. And there's
Yeah.
only so much that we can do as personal trainers to help them. So when you have your client, for example, do you mind if I say her name?
Julian.
Julian, for example, loves training, loves the process. She's a PT now. That's a good client, and you'd want to work with them for a long time.
Yeah, so for a personal trainer or a business owner out there, when they're getting super busy, they're running out of time, they feel like their standards are dropping, they feel like they're not having enough time for their family, their friends, their relationships. When do you feel like is the best time for them to decide, you know what, let's hire someone, let's start offloading some of my work?
Let's take the next step.
I feel
Okay.
like you know exactly when that time is.
You just
Yeah,
know?
it's not like a
It's not
specific
something- it's not
time. Like it's not
something
6
you-
months, it's not 9
Yeah,
months, it's
yeah.
not 10.
Right, because you could do PT for 9 months and have 6 clients. Well, what, now it's time to hire someone? You know what I mean?
That's true.
So
Well, if you're offload
you'll
eight, you
sort of
only
get
have
that,
one.
you'll get
You'll
that
get
hunch.
that feeling.
There is no time or exact date. You just need to know when you think it's getting too much for you and you feel like those standards may drop, even though you're trying to keep it up here, you'll know.
Now, there was a big thing that you've transitioned into as a personal trainer in the last year,
Yeah.
and that's online coaching. Now, not all PTs do it, but it is a big craze now on Instagram with heaps of PTs going online. This little hybrid thing where they do some face-to-face and some online coaching.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you, and how did that start?
Yeah, well, the switch is currently happening, and I wouldn't say I want to be a complete online coach within the next... I want it to happen eventually, but I'm enjoying this time where I have these good clients in front of my face. I don't want to run away from them and shoot them online straight away, but like we said before, how long can you sit on the gym floor and do PT for? How long can you possibly do that?
For someone that's confused on whether to go online or whether to stay face to face, what would you say is the perfect balance for them? Like how to figure that out, whether they like one or the other, or how they can balance both?
Everyone's an online coach. Why is everyone an online coach? Every bio I've clicked on, apparently they're an online coach.
If we actually break it down though, an online coach is someone that will write you a program, maybe set up some nutrition protocols and check in with you. A face-to-face coach does the exact same thing, except the check-in is done face-to-face.
Yeah,
So there's no real difference other than one's online, one's face-to-face.
there's so many online coaches, but none of them have had any experience in person.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's completely fine. They may have great physiques. They may know exactly what they're talking about, and that's fine. But if you are going from a face-to-face coach to an online coach, I think that that's way more valuable because you know how to actually communicate with people. You don't just have a good physique and all of a sudden you're giving out advice. I feel like it's the right steps to take. And I feel like if I didn't do the face-to-face, I couldn't be an online coach. I wouldn't know how to deal with people properly.
So do you feel like this is a good stepping stone for you?
100%.
Going from face-to-face to online?
Yep, 100%.
And you've already started doing that, haven't you?
I've started to shift my attention towards online just because of the freedom it gives you.
Yeah.
And just like sport, I was semi-professional football player before. I didn't feel as much freedom, and now I'm starting to feel less freedom in this face-to-face career as well. So the online separates that a little bit more. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be switched on all the time. You can do your check-ins on your laptop in Bali, in Dubai, in fuck knows where. Wherever you want to be, you can check in with that client. But at the same time, it just comes down to the service again. How good is your service? How high do you hold that standard for yourself?
Yeah.
Because, like I said before, you can have a good physique, but what's your service like? How do you approach clients?
That's a good point you bring up because the face-to-face personal training can really decipher how good of a coach you can be in the future. We we essentially started off being face-to-face coaches, and now you've gone into the online space a little bit more since we started this business, and your coaching wouldn't have been the same if you went from your course that you finished to straight online, because you didn't pick up those personal skills, the communication skills, the face-to-face, reading body language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's an awesome element to add to your cavalry.
That's so true.
When you have that ability to talk to people, you have the ability to create a community. You've created a little community within your clients as well, even if they are online or face-to-face.
That's so true what Rhiannon said, because it's easy to get on a video call and check in with your client, but you don't know the cues of when a client will leave or how they're actually feeling, because you've never coached someone in person.
This is probably the first time we've sat down for more than an hour since the end of our comp, end of the bodybuilding comp.
Yeah.
Now that you're sitting here and you're talking about yourself within, the span of a year that you've sat down and actually spoken about what it is that you've done over the span of a year, if you were to look back at this video in a year's time, what would you want to see change in yourself?
I would love to see the second phase.
And what does that phase look like for you?
The second phase of what's happening now. So I'd love to see at least a 90% transition to online coaching, having those core members stay with me in person. So I do have the freedom to do more in my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird because we sat down here a year ago. I didn't know where I was going to go. So I couldn't tell you exactly where I'm going in a year, but I know I'm heading in the right direction, if you know what I mean.
What are some goals that you'd like to achieve over the next year?
Some big goals would be to hire some new people for the business, take a bit of a step back from the face-to-face, have some more clients online.
And how are you going to keep yourself accountable?
That's a good question.
And how
I'll
are you
tell you
going to
why it's a good question.
How are you going to
Because no one ever asked me that.
Yeah, no one asks you
No one
those
asks
questions
how I'm
as
going
a
to keep
PT.
myself accountable, because I try and keep myself to a standard up here, right? Like we said before. So anytime that I get off, I feel like it's rude to myself for me to not be doing anything. That's why I could be burnt out sometimes, because I feel like anytime I have nothing to do, I need to do something, whether it's check in on more clients or do some more programs, and it's non-stop. I just always want to be doing something to better myself. So I feel like if I keep doing that in the next year, there's no way I can possibly go backwards. There's no way that anyone can go backwards.
It's like I had last Saturday, I had off. I had no one, everyone was busy. I didn't know what to do, so I came back to work.
Bro, you don't understand the amount of times I've stayed at Empire from the time I've opened to the time I closed, just because, for example, that night you did the posing before your comp. I didn't need to be there. And it was a coincidence that you were free because you could do some posing in the gym, and no one was there because the gym was closed. I was sitting there doing my work because I was leaving for Bali the next week. So I thought, if I don't do this now, and it could have been left off. I could have done it the day after or the day after that. But it sometimes can be toxic for me, because I feel like it always needs to be growth. But sometimes you need to actually sit down, look at your surroundings, and actually appreciate what you've done.
Do you believe that in the early stages of starting a business, or this is for both of you, I'll ask you, do you believe that in the early stages of running a business, you find that you want to fill up your time with every living ounce to make the business work?
I was doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
When I first started Empire, I thought, fuck it, I've got all this free time now. Let me just kick back.
Yeah.
And the minute I made the switch of mindset, I was in the gym every day. I was training at every minute of the day.
Yeah, because
when you first start your business, it's Groundhog Day every day.
100%.
You just work like a dog until you make something work. Because it's you're the one person that's steering the ship, and if you're not if you're not holding yourself accountable every single day, then that's gonna show in your work.
I was doing
Your
the
clients are gonna see it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a good sight.
I was doing a bit of amount of work, but not what you were saying. But there was no accountability at the start.
Yeah, but
honestly, the way I see it, right, I always hold myself accountable to a high standard, because if I'm not holding myself accountable to a high standard, how are my clients ever going to get good results? Because I'm trying to teach them to hold themselves to a high standard. If I'm not doing it to myself, what gives them the reason to do it themselves? You're essentially their role model.
If you've struggled with motivation or pain, you're not alone. I'm Rhiannon from Dynamic Recon Campsie, and we help people stay strong, pain-free, and actually enjoy training. But don't take it from me. Hear what our clients have to say.
Hi, my name is Dora Kadahi.
Hi, my name's Bernie. My name's Angelina, and I've been with Dynamic Recomp for the last 3 months,
I've been training with Dynamic Recon for the last 6 months,
and I love every minute of it.
seeing how motivated they are and the passion that they have for what they do.
They've given me clarity on my food habits, mental health, exercises.
To me, that's what drew me towards their program, and it's something that I've been very happy with.
I love the community that we have here, where we all wake up early, exercise, feel good and start the day off right.
I like how they have their different roles.
And just the love of exercise.
Brendan, he's a mobility coach, so if I hurt my ankle, he's there to just help me.
It's been a massive asset having them on board with me.
Seriously, get in contact with these guys because they're awesome.
We coach through real change. Welcome to the home of consistency.
I wanted to go back to when you said, when you asked him about what period of your career do you believe that you should start a hiring process. And I wanted to bring up the topic of, and it's been coming up, I saw a video of, what's his name?
Something, he's a wog-looking guy.
Yeah, with the beard. We watched the video the other day.
Daniel.
Is that his name? Watched the video of him the other day, and he was talking about how he had a consultation with a client, and the consultation ended with, okay, cool, I'm keen to get this started, but what makes you different to me going on ChatGPT and focusing and just getting ChatGPT to write me up a program? What do you believe the next generation of personal training looks like? Do you believe that it's going to go down the rabbit hole of AI, or do you believe that the face-to-face is going to grow?
The face-to-face is going to boom. But at the same time, ChatGPT is not a person. People love people.
Yeah.
So that'll
People
never
need
die.
people.
People love people and people need people. And as much as I can talk to a robot, it's not got a face.
No. Look, I've had online clients for over 2 years.
And how good
now.
does your robot look? Does he have a six-pack? Does he have bulging biceps? Probably not.
But-
so why are you inspired by the robot?
But
You're
the
inspired by
point
the
is,
knowledge.
though,
You're
point
inspired
is,
by the
though,
knowledge. But the knowledge is just websites that it runs through.
Yeah.
To
It
be
gives you a
fair,
generic program.
AI is a lot better than us at running programs, or is becoming better than us at running programs, because it's got access to all of the knowledge in the world that we don't always have at our fingertips, right?
Yeah.
So it can be better than us at writing programs, writing meal plans. I saw this app that just came out that you put in your weight, height, age, everything like that, and it tells you your macros and your calories.
That's called macro calculator.
Macro factor. As soon as you lose weight,
Yeah,
you
but that's
put
already
it.
been on the internet.
No, but there's a
There's a new
thing
app
on there.
But anyways, you lose weight, you punch in the details, and it changes your macros pretty much straight away.
All
which
right.
is a lot faster than hitting up your online coach and asking for a new macro plan, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is most of my check-ins aren't based on changing the meal plans or changing the programs.
Yeah.
I do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's more about speaking to the person, being real with them, understanding that they had a few work trips or a few flights that were in and out of the country.
life has its ups and downs.
Only a person can understand that.
Yeah, and that's the approach I'm trying to take with the online thing is, how can I help someone change with not only just their physique? And this is something I've been working on, where I'm trying to create something more than just a meal plan and the program. So I've linked up with a few people, and I don't want to say it on here, but whoever signs up to my online coaching gets more than just that.
And thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Dynamic Podcast.
Thank you so much for sticking around. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if friends are interested, share it around.
Don't forget to comment your favorite part of this episode and tag us on your social media platforms.
And we'll see you next Friday. Ciao.